Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome back to another film discussion. And I am here with
Chucky's Punch. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a beer, maybe.
Chucky's Punch.
Where did you get that?
Walmart, believe it or not.
Walmart. Okay, that's weird. Just like in like the soda aisle, or
Yeah. Well, actually, it was on like the end cap. It was like I guess they were doing this display. That's the only one I found. I guess there's other ones.
Yeah, Jonathan Moody found like a couple of them, but I think he said he went to Five Below.
So maybe Five Below has them, but I think maybe some of them are sold through Walmart as well. But
I want a couple. I like it. I only need the Chucky one. That's all I want. I'll buy one to open and drink, and I'll buy one to just keep and collect.
I think you're supposed to poke the bottom to let the soda out, so it doesn't explode the can.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Something I have to look it up and let you know about that.
Yeah, I did not know that at all. So, but who are you? Who are you? You're not Chucky.
I'm me. I'm Chucky. I told you. I identify as Chucky now. No.
Yeah. You better refer to me as Chucky, the killer doll, because I'm going to cancel you if you don't. So, but you're Donald. You're my co-host here.
Yes, I am.
and we are today we are going to be discussing original versus remake.
Yep.
And what two movies did you decide to do?
Well, I was thinking about it because you had your pick from the very beginning. Like you were like, I'm going with this, and I'm like, okay, I got to think about it for a minute. So I was like, you know what? I haven't seen the original. I've seen the remake a bunch of times. I said, you know what? And I said, I'm gonna watch it. And as soon as I started watching, I said, you know what? This is the movie I'm gonna pick. I decided to go with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory versus Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay. And I have the original Night of the Living Dead versus the remake of Night of the Living Dead, the Tom Savini one. That is soon to have a 4K steel case, unrated or uncensored version of the movie, because what came out is heavily censored. So I do have an uncut version of it on Blu-ray. I burned it and from a long time ago. So it's the work print of the movie, and it's quite different blood-wise. So I can't wait for that to come out. But yeah, so do you want to start? What are you starting off with? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
We sure can. I do not have a physical copy of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I had a digital copy. You do have a physical. There you go. Yep. So in my place, I'm gonna hold up the book because I got to put more pressure on myself. I decided to read the book because I wanted to see which one was more accurate, and we'll get to that when we get into the discussion.
Okay, and you sent me this so I could put it up. There we go.
There you go.
So
that's the Blu-ray cover. So if you see it now, that's the cover. I like your cover better though.
You know, I think I have. Let me look here. I think it's here. I have to do it like this because I don't like that you can't put all of your pictures onto StreamYard. So I look in the.
Okay.
So I just have to keep a folder up. There it is. I think that's. Oh no, that's still different.
I mean, I still like that. I still like that cover though. I mean,
what is that?
I mean, I like Gene Wilder and all, but I'd like to have like the main character, like the whole premise of the story is really Charlie Bucket.
Yeah, I don't think. Did I get a picture of that one? I don't think I did. Of my Blu-ray. No, I do have. I downloaded a whole bunch of pictures for both of us. The original poster.
I do like that.
Where he's kind of sacrificing himself.
He's the Jesus Christ of chocolate.
He is.
At least that's what he claims to be, anyway. No. He doesn't really claim it.
And I did get, because I knew that you were going to read the book, so I did get a couple copies of the book. So I got that.
Okay.
And I also have this one. I think is the one that you just showed. Maybe. I could be wrong. This one?
No.
What does yours look like? Oh, okay. All right. So tell me about the book.
Okay. Well, so maybe before we should start, maybe we should start this off by preferencing to the listeners. We are going to be going into spoilers. If you have not, for some reason, watched any of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movies, or read the book, you're living under a rock. I mean, I'm pretty sure this story is like common knowledge at this point, but if you do not want to be spoiled, please turn away now, go watch the movie, come back here. So you've been warned.
Well, so, that's for everything that we're going to be talking about. We're going to go into detail on all of that stuff.
Yes. Yes.
So hopefully both of us have watched these movies that we're going to review, because you're going to give spoilers. I'm going to give spoilers. So hopefully you've seen Night of the Living Dead, and hopefully I've seen Willy Wonka. So
yeah. Okay, well, let's start with that. Have you seen this movie, John?
Yes, many times, mostly on television.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, this was actually my very first time talking about, which I will get into the book here in a minute. Because I've seen clips. I've actually seen the remake first. The only reason I've seen the remake first
made me cough.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The only reason I've seen the remake first was because my mother was a huge Johnny Depp fan. If Johnny Depp was in your movie, she would watch it, even if she did not like the movie. Actually, she wasn't even a fan of horror movies, but she watched his musical, that Sweeney Todd, Demon Barber of Fleet Street. She watched that just because it was Johnny Depp.
Okay.
That just shows you how much of a mega fan she was of Johnny Depp.
Gotcha.
So that's why I got to watch this one first. She has told me that the original one was better, so she did acknowledge that. But we never had a copy of the original in the house. And we were poor people, so we couldn't afford movies and stuff all the time.
You were like the family in Willy Wonka.
Okay, maybe not that bad, but we were pretty bad.
Eating cabbage soup all the time?
Nah, no cabbage soup or anything like that.
I think they should have done cannibalism. Just gone out and killed people. And they could just eat people. Or maybe the Oompa Loompas, they could eat the Oompa Loompas.
Wow, John. There we go. We got our Willy Wonka horror movie.
Yeah.
So when Willy Wonka officially goes in the public domain, we can make a horror movie.
Willy Wonka the Cannibal, or the cannibalization.
Willy Wonka and the Cannibal Factory.
There you go. Yeah. I like that.
Every year he invites all like 5 children and their mom and dad to come along, and
you're just like
kills them all off one on one, and he makes them into meat pies. That's Sweeney Todd. We can't do that though.
No, it could just be like chocolate with meat in it, like chocolate meat.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's maybe go into the plot of Willy Wonka, and then I can kind of tell you the differences between the books and the movie.
Well, why Willy Wonka to begin with? Like why this instead of something else?
Because it's a classic. I mean, why did you pick Night of the Living Dead? Because it's a classic, right? And it's one of your favorite movies.
All of the above, sure.
Okay. And plus, I have some nostalgia for. I know you're gonna it might make you mad, but Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I said, you know what? I kind of want to see how the original versus the remake.
That's fine.
So I'll give you the one I like the most at the end, but we'll save that for at the end.
Yeah, I've never read the book. I've seen the original many times, and I've only seen the remake like one full time, because I did watch it this time around, and I shut it off in the first 10 minutes the original time that I watched it. Oh, wow. So I have plenty to say about Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. So
all right, well, we'll get to that when we get to that. Well, okay, well, let me do this. Let me tell you the differences from the book to the movie. I'm assuming we've all seen the movie at this point. So the first big difference is I don't know if in any of the movies they ever mention Grandpa Joe's age.
I think he's his grandpa. That's it.
So in the book, he's 96 years old.
Oh,
how is this dude jumping around? I don't know that.
Does he jump around in the book?
Oh yeah. He's in how they portray it in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is exactly how it is in the book.
Okay.
So skipping a little further, there's only like a couple of differences.
This is to Willy Wonka or to Charlie also? It's
kind of to both.
Okay.
But I'm not really going to go into like the plots of both at this point. I'm just going to go over the key differences.
Gotcha.
That kind of neither of them really touch on. So first was Grandpa Joe's 96. Second one is when the Charlie is starting when Mr. Bucket loses his job. He they start showing like the family starts to starve. You know, they're losing rations. They barely have anything to eat. Well, they go into a little more of that, which I wish the movies would have like went into like, okay, seeing Charlie actually, starting to lose weight, actually starting to, show ribs or something, like make it more like, okay, it wasn't just about the golden ticket. It was about survival at that point. So basically how Charlie gets the ticket in the book is he's so hungry, he just wants something to eat. He finds money on the ground, like in the movie. He picks it up. He goes to the nearest department store and just says, just give me a chocolate bar. I just want a chocolate bar. And he eats the first one, gobbles it all down, and he says, okay, can I have a second one? And then the clerk gives him a second one. He eats it and then realizes he has the golden ticket. So it wasn't the first. He bought 2 bars, not just one. I'm hoping I'm not losing too many people here. The last 2 differences is in the ticket actually allowed you to bring 2 of your family members and not 1. So I'm assuming they did just 1 parent per movie just because, that'd be too many people to follow maybe. And also Willy Wonka has a beard.
Oh, okay.
Neither of them have a beard.
Is it illustrated in the book at all with him having a beard? Because I don't think I've seen anything with him having a beard.
You can see right there, he kind of has a beard. And has a goatee. Hold on, I think I actually highlighted it.
I don't think.
Okay, so here we go.
I guess that's a beard that's kind of pointing out, like what you showed. Like there's a black mark right there.
Well, here's the here's what it says in the book. It says, covering his chin, there was a small, neat pointed black beard, a goatee.
Okay.
So I figured I'd highlight that because I'm like, okay, that's the only real differences, and we'll get to the other difference when we get into the story.
Okay.
So why don't we jump into that? So basically, if those of you that everyone knows, we follow our character Charlie Bucket, who is, his family is poor. He doesn't, he doesn't have any money to go buy chocolate and everything like everyone else does. He's, pretty, he only gets one chocolate bar a year for his birthday, and that's all he gets. So I mean, they can only afford it, so they all pitch in to get it for him. So,
okay, if that's all they can do,
I guess so.
Maybe get a job.
I mean, he could have. But when you're a kid, why would you do that?
I'm going to be honest. I do not like this movie until they get to the chocolate factory.
Okay.
Because when I rewatched it, I don't think I've ever fully watched it like in one sitting on like VHS or DVD or whatever. I think I've only seen it on TV.
Okay.
But like the beginning song, Candyman, he's just handing candy out to kids. Okay, who's paying for this? Isn't he going to go out of business? And then we see Charlie in the window, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is Charlie's fantasy, like his imagination or something, that he's just
it is a musical,
handing out candy to kids, and he can't have any. Like this is his dream. And I'm like, okay, fine. And it reminded me of, and these are apples and oranges, but Rent. I hated the movie and I hated the play or the musical. It's all about people who just don't want to pay their rent. That's all it is. Nobody wants to get a job. Nobody wants to do anything. It's called Rent, but nobody wants to pay their rent. And I know this thing won like a ton of Emmys and all that type of, Tonys. And I even saw it with like the original actress who won the Tony. And I hated it. And this reminded me of that because they're just, all the grandparents are just in bed. Get a fucking job. Why is Charlie out there busting his ass delivering newspapers?
Yeah, really.
And do we see? Yeah, I think, we see the mom. She's doing like laundry. But the dad says that he's been, or the grandpa Joe says he's been in bed for 20 years. Really? 20 years ago, you couldn't get a job? So it's like what? You can't even be a janitor or in that time period? I don't know, do whatever they do with streetlights or something?
I mean, I guess he, when he lost his job at Wonka's factory, he decided that he lost his will to really do anything. So him and grandma and the other grandpa and grandma are kind of like, oh, we all got to share the same bed.
But are all these people like Gen Z? I mean, it's like, is this like the elderly version of Gen Z where they just don't want to get a job, but they expect to have food and electricity and if they've been in bed for 20 years and haven't left, how do they go to the bathroom?
I don't know. Maybe they have a hole in the bottom of the mattress and they have I don't know.
I mean, the poor mom, I mean, the dad is dead. And so the mom's got to clean sheets and clothes. Do they just poop and pee in the bed? And then how does she get him out of the bed? All that stuff annoyed the hell out of me. The song Candyman is classic. I hated the song. Was it Oh Charlie or Dear Charlie or whatever it's called, where the mom is singing it?
Yeah.
I when I watched Mr. Sunday Movies and they were talking about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, they mentioned this song from Willy Wonka, and they're like, "Oh yeah, all the songs are great except for this one." So I was trying to prepare myself for it. It is so boring. It is so dull. But because I don't really remember the movie, I sat through it. If I'd already seen it and I knew what it was, I probably would have just scanned through the song. Like I said, I don't like any of this movie until they hit the factory. But I'm sorry. You were explaining and I stole the spot.
You're good, man. You're good. You're good. I mean, I'm gonna say right now, I wish they would have a version of this without the musical. I just kind of want the story. And I know this is a musical, but I wish they would have like made a, okay, here's the version with the musical, and here's a version that we just did talking, but then it would be only like 30 minutes long. So, or maybe even shorter than that. I don't know, because I think that's where this really heavily depends on it. Now, the only part that I can understand the singing, which I gotta give to the remake, is the Oompa Loompas, because in the book they do sing. They do sing in the book.
Okay.
Now you have to read what they say. And I listened to the audiobook, which he didn't sing, thank God, because that would have been horrible. But that I gotta give to the remake a little bit. But we're not talking about the remake. I think I understand why everyone likes this movie, but I gotta say I'm not a fan of the songs. Some of the songs are good, but then some of the songs are kind of like, do we need to have a song? I kind of kept rolling my eyes every time they went into a song. So I will give it that.
Okay. Yeah, I could sit through a musical. I like musicals. I used to go see them all the time. I still have all my playbills. It's a stack like that high. But there are just certain songs that it's just like, oh fuck, really? Can we just scan through this? Why do we have to hear this? It's not good.
Yeah.
And it's and I didn't fully feel sorry for Charlie. I mean, the guy's working. He's out there, and he's a nice kid. And, he buys bread for the family. And I was thinking, he gets paid. He buys the bread. He gives the rest of the money to like his mom. And then he gives like a little bit of the money to Grandpa Joe for tobacco. So, good for them to, promote that. And, but I was thinking like once
smoke your cigarettes, kids.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Don't
Wonka
do that.
cigarettes. And it's and then you hear on the TV that Willy Wonka's doing the bars with the golden ticket. And I'm thinking to myself, like the kid must be going like, fuck, why did I buy bread? I could have used that to buy chocolate bars.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Here's my question. And now that I'm thinking about this, if they were so poor, how can they afford electricity?
Oh, they're siphoning it off their neighbor.
They're running extension cords.
Yeah, the neighbor doesn't know it. Why is our energy bill so high? And it's just like,
why is our electric bill $300 a month? You gotta stop doing something up there. I don't know.
I'm not doing anything. No, you're doing something.
Stop watching that pornographic stuff up there.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But we just turned Willy Wonka into a rated R movie, John. That would have made it more entertaining.
Oh, as I'm sure somebody has probably made a porn about it, and it's probably like, Willie's
a woman or something.
12-inch Wonka,
God.
in the chocolate factory. So it would be like a combination of white and black porn.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, how do we go back from this, man?
Well, hey, keep going.
I mean, what? So I guess we can go into like let's go into the Chocolate Factory then. So what did you think about the Chocolate Factory? I thought it was beautiful. That is when I really started to, like you said, enjoy the movie. I'm like, okay, we're now we're seeing Gene Wilder, which I gotta say, out of the two, I think Gene Wilder does a better Wonka than Depp does.
I am going to hold my comments until we get to Charlie.
Okay. But what did you think of the Chocolate Factory? What did you think of the waterfall of chocolate and the pond and everything is edible and all that stuff?
Oh, I thought it looked great. I thought for that time period, it looked amazing, and it's. I think I have some other stuff from inside the Chocolate Factory. Let's see here. Gene Wilder is a genius. He is brilliant in everything he does, and he knew how to use himself in things like. Example, Blazing Saddles. So Mel Brooks is Jewish. Gene Wilder is Jewish. Who do they get to write the movie? Richard Pryor, who's black. So you have these guys that are kind of using these things to make this movie, Blazing Saddles. And if somebody criticizes them, oh, you're anti, black people. No, it's written and starring two different black guys. Well, you're racist against Jewish people. No, it's directed, written, and starring and written. So it's like he knew how to use what he has.
And technically, if you really want to get down to it, Blazing Saddles made fun of everything.
Oh yeah.
So technically, there was nobody was safe. Something like that would never fly today.
Oh no. Oh no. But they still play it, which is funny.
Yeah.
In theaters.
But I mean, it wouldn't be made today. It would never so if you made a movie like that today, you would be on cancel culture's top 100 or something. Actually, top 10 or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm surprised that it hasn't been canceled. For the way that it is, because people are idiots and they don't understand satire and comedy, and they don't understand who made it. So it's like in this one, in Willy Wonka, it's a horror movie. This is not a kids film. This is a horror film. He yells at kids. They go on that boat that is terrifying. Even a chicken's head gets cut off in it. And there's all these bugs and stuff. He doesn't like kids. He makes candy and has a candy factory and all that. It sells candy, but he hates kids. It's 3 times in the movie. The kids are about to do, or one of the kids would do something horrible, and the mom would be like, or dad would be like, Wonka, do something, and he'd be like, stop, don't do that. Come back. And he'd be like, Wonka. He'd be like, what? I told him to come back. He does that 3 times where he just does not give a shit. Let the girl become a giant, raspberry. Let the fat kid fall into the blueberry. Yeah. Let the fat kid fall into the chocolate river.
He can't swim. Hold on. Wait a minute. Remember, at the beginning of the movie, when they go into the Chocolate Factory, they did sign a waiver that he is not responsible for anything. So technically, that big wall is a big giant contract that literally starts with letters this big and ends up with letters that small. They're like, you gotta read the fine print. No, we got things to go. Come on, we got things to do.
Yeah. So it is a horror movie. And I love that about it. From the second they get outside that gate to the chocolate factory, and just Willy Wonka comes out. Does he do the role in the book? Or is that a movie thing?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Hold on. Let me look. Go ahead and talk while I look this.
So from the second that he, that he does that, from right when they're at that gate, and he starts walking down, and he's got the limp with the cane, and everybody's like, "Oh wow, what's this all about?" That poor guy, and he does the flip. We know, and then he does the greatest showman on earth type of entrance.
Yeah.
You know exactly what this film is going to be, and
he does not do that in the book.
So that must have something that
Gene Wilder improvised on that part.
Yeah, that he could do the role, and so they're like, "Well, let's see it." He could do it, and they're like, "That's going in the movie." Yeah,
there you go. One thing I will say from the book, I now thinking about it, he introduces himself to all the kids at first. He's like, like super excited to see them. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And it's like they're describing it as they're shaking their hands so hard that they think their arm's gonna fall off because he's shaking their hands so hard. He's like, "I'm so excited to see you. I can't wait for you to see the factory. Oh, Mike TV. I heard so much about you. Oh, Augusta Scoop. I heard you love my chocolate. Oh, Charlie, I heard about you in the paper last night. I am so happy that you got the ticket just in time. Oh, and also another big difference, the whole scam thing. You remember the part where I just forgot about this. The part where they said that someone forged a golden ticket.
Oh yeah, like the Russian guy, I think.
Yeah, that is not in the book. Oh, Charlie finds the fifth chocolate golden ticket.
That's better though. The forging is better because somebody would try that, and it builds stakes. Because now what do we do? All the tickets are found. Charlie's all bummed out. The family is all bummed out.
Yeah.
And then it's a forgery, so he could still get it. Why would it be in his little town? His mom is such a downer. Charlie, you suck. You're not going to get a ticket. Why would you get a ticket, Charlie? Who are you? Why, Charlie? Well, don't get your hopes up, Charlie. And Grandpa Joe was like, F you, Mom. Let the kid have fun. Let him, try to win the ticket. And he's even in school, and the teacher, who's mean, sits there and asks all the kids, how many bars? And kids like 150, 100, 200. And then Charlie goes 2, and the teacher's like, "Oh, okay, 200," because the teacher is teaching them percentages. And he's like, "No, 200." He's like, "No, I only opened 2 bars." And he's like, "Well, how can I do a percentage on that? We're just going to say it's 200. And it's like everybody's mean to him. And it's and I find it funny that when they do these announcements, like with the commercials, "Oh yeah, you're going to win like a lifetime of chocolate." Well, and apparently a lifetime of diabetes too, because as I'm sure none of that stuff is like sugar free.
I mean, let's be real here. Augusta Scoop's already on that path. So.
Oh my God, yeah. And all these kids are friggin' horrible. They're just horrible kids. So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So please continue.
Where were we? We were at the. Okay, so let's go into the kids. What happens to the kids then? I mean, first let's start off with Augusta Scoop. How do you feel about Augusta Scoop?
He's the fat kid, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The one that gets sucked up the pipe.
He's gross. And that's all I could say. I like his eyes, like the actor's eyes, how they were, when you would see all that candy, they're huge and they're blue. And they just, these massive eyes of just, I am eating all of this. But the character is horrible. He's just the mom
He's
just
a
wants him.
glutton.
Yeah, then the mom just wants him dead. Apparently, I mean, he has all the chocolate on his face, and you know, she's just waiting for him to die, I guess, from eating all this candy, because he certainly doesn't eat any, you know, green stuff. He doesn't eat any, you know, Brussels sprouts or anything.
Oh, he ate the grass. So remember, he ate the grass. So there's a green.
Okay, all right.
There's a green.
I don't know if the grass has sugar in it, but okay.
It probably did, because remember, he was like, "Hey, take a blade of grass, try it. It's like sweet and sugary and all that stuff."
Yeah.
So, fun fact, I'm probably gonna get hated for this, but have you ever seen the Family Guy episode where they have Diabito, the fat kid that comes and goes, "Mama, can I have cookie?" Like, no, Diabito, roll back to the kitchen. There, yeah. I said, there you go. That's Augustus Gloop's future.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
No, Diabito, go roll back to kitchen.
No.
So, but yeah, so he falls down. He's getting so greedy. He's eating everything, and basically, he goes to the point where he's trying to drink the chocolate out of the river. Wonka's like, hey, you know, that's not supposed to be touched by human hands and all that stuff. And he tumbles in. The machine sucks him up and takes him to. I don't think they say it in the original. Where they were taking him? The strawberry fudge or something? Strawberry fudge room or something?
Well, doesn't everybody like have a death? Like, that's what Willy Wonka says. They're like, well, where is he going? And then he says something horrible is going to happen to the kid.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can find it.
I don't completely remember. Here's the kids.
Okay, I'm looking at the. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it doesn't really say on. I'm on Wikipedia and kind of like looking to see like. Augustus is sucked up the pipe after falling into the chocolate river. You know, the Oompa Loompas do a song saying, "Hey, you know, he's got sucked up the pipe and all that." So we move on to Violet, the one that's the gum chewer.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel? Like, this piece of gum I've been chewing for 3 straight months.
Once again, disgusting. But I guess if she's going to get into the Guinness Book of World Records, then she needs to do that. But okay, they're all horrible kids, and it's kind of except for Charlie. It's wow. You know, what are the chances that 4 out of the 5 kids would be horrible who won these?
Yeah. So I mean, basically after the chocolate room, they get into a boat and go down a river, which, as we mentioned before, was horrifying. It's terrifying. You could have made a whole horror movie just based on that boat alone, probably.
I remember as a kid watching this on TV and then going to bed and having nightmares about that ride. About it terrified me as a kid.
Oh yeah. It's I was like, ooh, this is a kids movie.
Well, and the girl with the gum, she turns into the giant blueberry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they go. So after the ride down, they go into like the invention room where he ends up giving everyone the everlasting gobstopper. Which, by the way, earlier in the movie, remember they were confronted by that dude saying, "Hey, I need you to get me the gobstopper because I need to ruin Wonka forever. You know, if you get me a gobstopper, I will give you $10,000 and everything."
He's
Maybe
got
something
like
else.
he's evil because he has a scar going down his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget what
And he
Slugsworth
whispers
or something like that.
Yeah, so they give
Slugsworth
him
or something.
well, they give him the evil name and then the scar, and then he whispers in each kid's ear, "Yeah, go get me that everlasting gobstopper. I'll make you, you know, thousandaires." And so yeah, so hoping that one of them at least would you know
Would betray
him and they leave. Yeah,
yeah. Arthur Slugsworth is his name, so that's the one that. So when he gives them the gobstopper, everyone's probably like, "Oh, we're gonna shove this in our pocket and get $10,000 if we lose or something."
but
so
what we don't know is also Wonka says, you cannot talk about this. You cannot give this out. This is for you. This is for this state. You know, you can have it, but this whole thing stays here. He makes it very, very direct that you cannot do anything with this, and it's for a reason.
Yeah. So yeah. So after he gives them the gobstoppers, they go into the invention room. He does a thing where it's a gum. What's her name? Violet is like, "Oh, I'm a gum chewer." Takes it out, puts it behind her hair, which is freaking disgusting.
Yes.
like, how is that still like? You know, how is it not getting in your hair? How do you not have gum in your hair at that point?
She's done it so many times. She just knows where to put it so the hair doesn't hit it. So, you know.
Possible. And trust me, as someone that had gum in their hair with long hair before, it freaking sucks getting it out.
I can imagine. I poured slime. Remember that slime, the green slime that came in like a green garbage can? And it was when I was a kid, and I poured it on this girl's hair in school, and she had to shave her fucking head. I felt so bad. So bad. I thought I was being funny. I didn't know. Sorry.
Hey, wow.
I'm sorry, Kim. I still remember her name. Sorry, Kim.
You feel so bad about it, you still remember the name. Oh, hey. At least you say, hey. No, it's been like 40 years ago, but sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, she chews the gum. The gum is basically like a full course meal or something. And he's like, "Yeah, I wouldn't do that because it's not quite right yet. It's not quite right." And she's like, "No, I know what I'm doing." Chews it, and she's like, "Oh, tomato soup! I can feel it going down my throat." "Yes, you can spit it out now." "Oh no, I got the roast beef and all that stuff." And it's like, he's like, "Blueberry punch." And he's like, and like you said, at this point, he's like, "Oh, let's just see what happens here."
Yeah, stop! Don't eat that. Stop.
And then she blows up and becomes a blueberry, and they roll her away. They sing a song about her, roll her away to the juicing room. They squeeze the juice out of it.
Yeah, the songs are great. Yeah, because she doesn't eat the everlasting gobstopper. They just kind of all put them in their pockets. She eats this little pill or piece of candy that is it's a full course, like a 4-course meal.
Yeah, it's a piece of gum. It's gum.
Yeah, so as you chew it, it starts off with I don't know, soup and salad, then it would go into steak and mashed potatoes, and it goes into the dessert. And when she starts expanding and turning blue, Wonka's like, always does that when we hit the desserts. What are we going to do?
I mean, in his defense, he did warn her, like, hey, that's not quite right. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Please don't do that.
That's right.
None of them listened. None of them listened.
Nope.
So the next one is Veruca Salt, which I'm telling you, in both films, I want to punch this girl in the face every time. Awful. She's like, "Daddy, I want a pony. I want this. I want that. Give me this. Give me that. I want it now." Nah. It's like, you're a spoiled little brat, man.
That's the parents' fault because they give her everything. And Wonka, it seems like the very first person to say no. Because she turns around and goes, "What did you say?" And he's like, "No, you're not getting an Oompa Loompa. You're not getting these things that you want right now." And she is like upset, because she's never been told no.
Yeah. This one was where they go to like the nut room where it was geese. Was it geese? Some sort of birds?
In
Willy Wonka, it's
yes,
geese.
it's the geese that are laying the golden egg, and they're up in like
golden
cages,
egg. Okay, so
and the golden egg rolls out and goes onto like a weight machine, and it either says good or bad. And then if it's good, it travels on. If it's bad, it goes straight down. So yeah, they got because from what I saw on that Mr. Sunday Reviews thing, when they were talking about Charlie, but they did bring up Willy Wonka a lot. The original is the mice that are in the remake are in the book, but because of the time period, or squirrels, that there was no way when this was made that they could do that. Absolutely no way. So they had to change it to something else, and they chose to do the geese.
So, with that being said, I know you're a purist about staying closer to the book. How do you feel about them changing it to the golden eggs instead of the squirrels?
I've never read the book, and that's why I think people need to do research on things. So it's in some cases the movie is better than the book. Jaws is a great example of that. The book is mediocre. The movie is great. But because of the like Willy Wonka talks about the elevator, the glass elevator. In this one, he says, "Oh yeah, it can go left, it could go right, it could go up, it could go down, it can go sideways this way, it can go," but we never see it, which is fine. Because there's no way in that time period they could do that. And so I get it. And so you could only do certain things that you're able to do. And that's fine. It's fine with me.
Yeah. I mean, I was okay with it because I mean, and again, like when I was reading the book, I was like, oh, okay, the golden ticket allows two family members, and in the book, everyone except for Charlie brings both mom and dad with them. So then I'm like, okay, I can kind of understand that would be like 9 people, and the space probably would have been a little overwhelming. They may have had a little trouble filming that. So let's just make it simple. Like, okay, everyone just brings one parent because Charlie has one parent. Let's just make everyone one parent. So and then just combined everything.
You have to at times accept the way things are. If you're adapting, let's say, a Stephen King book from like the 80s. And it's being adapted today, they're probably going to change it. But let's say something like Jurassic Park, the original book, the manuscript, the book hadn't even come out yet. A person like Spielberg's assistant gave him the manuscript and said, read this. And so he decided to make the movie before the book was even published. But if you read the book, it's not exactly the movie because stuff from the book or even the screenplay were used in other movies like Jurassic Rebirth. The whole thing with the T-Rex screwing around with the family on like the raft, like the rubber raft, that's from the original screenplay. I think it's also in the book. So they just said, oh, we haven't used this yet. We'll just move it over into this movie. So certain things you just have to accept. You just have to.
Yeah. And again, I'm good with that. I mean, it was the goose with the golden eggs, and instead of squirrels. Okay, it would be a lot easier to have geese in the room. Geese really don't have to do much. I mean, I can imagine them. They would have to make like a bunch of like electronic squirrels to like make like it would look horrible probably for that time period. So I can kind of see them changing it. But anyway,
like 2 squirrels, because they just
2 squirrels, or just maybe have like or animated or something else.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she wants the golden egg. Wonka says no. I forget how she gets thrown down the garbage chute.
She has a song. She's like the only kid I think who has a song. Okay. And she's singing about, it's mine. You can't tell me no. The egg is mine. If I want it, I'm going to have it. and she gets closer and closer and closer to where the eggs are being dropped if they're bad.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
she falls backwards and goes through the chute, and you could hear her going, ah. And then, of course, Wonka, the dad's like, Wonka. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. Something horrible will happen to her. And then he's like,
it's the incinerator.
Yeah, the incinerator. He's like, but I don't think the incinerators work on Tuesdays, so you might be okay. And then the dad's like, oh, and then he jumps down like head first into the hole. So,
and then we get to our last bad kid, I should say, is Mike TV. So they're in the elevator. He's like, I don't know if he picks the room or not in this one.
No, they go into, in the film, it's a TV room.
Yeah.
And
but he doesn't, they go into the elevator first, right? Do they go in the elevator in Willy Wonka, or is that?
What do you mean elevator? The Great Glass Elevator?
Yeah. Do they go into the elevator and he picks the TV room and then they go, or do they just go straight to the TV room?
No. They're in the elevator. It says television, and he hits the button, and they go to the TV room, which is all white and sterile and empty, and it has like a giant TV camera. And then that's the third time that Wonka goes, wait, stop, come back, don't do that.
Yeah.
And because the kid, of course, has to be the first who plays with guns. You could probably see in the picture, he wants to be a cowboy. So he shoots stuff with these guns. Good, nice promotion on that. But he stands underneath the giant camera, because they bring in the chocolate bar that's huge. They digitize it. It goes from the camera to like a TV. Pardon me. And it's really tiny. So the kid's like, that's me. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be the first. And the parents are like, what? And then he goes, he gets zapped, he gets all digitized, you can see it in the air, and then he ends up being like this tiny in the TV set. So he's this little kid, but he finds it absolutely amazing, which I thought was funny, because he's like, I want to do it again, which means that he would be like this big, and the mom's like, no. And she's so sick of her son that she just takes him by his collar and just drops him in her purse.
No, he drops it in his dad's pocket. Oh, is it a purse?
It is a purse.
I might be thinking of the book.
In the film, it's the mom. Yeah, because what Wonka does, because he calls in the Oompa Loompa to say, take them to, because he needs to be stretched. So take him to that room. But if you notice, while Wonka is walking with the mom, he has the purse and he's swinging the purse to like fuck the kid up as he's walking. And then I had to go back and rewatch that, because I'm like, he's trying to kill the kid.
Well, he kind of deserved it. Let's be real here.
All of them did, but Charlie.
All four kids except for Charlie didn't deserve it. Well, there was we didn't talk about this like before. I forget where in the movie, but there was a scene where Charlie and Grandpa Joe sneak off and they drink this soda that makes them float.
Yeah.
And they get so close to the fan. Evidently, the floating soda is mentioned in the book, but it's not in the movie. But they didn't go there. So
okay.
I think they kind of added some more stuff to make it a little more interesting, which I appreciate. I mean, because if they would have adapted the book it would have been like, it's kind of boring. I mean, if you think about it. So basically the movie ends where Charlie's the only one left. Wonka's like, well, you drank the soda. You're a bad kid. I don't want to see you ever again. You lose. Good day, sir.
I love that rant that he does, because he just shoos them off. So Grandpa Joe and Charlie are the last ones. Wonka's like, okay, great, have fun, leave, goodbye. I have bills to go take care of. And then he just and Grandpa Joe's like, wait a minute, we're the last ones. Are we supposed to get some chocolate, some big gift or something? And then they go into the office of Wonka's office, which everything is in halves, which is weird. And and Wonka's just like at the tape, he's just writing stuff down, and he's really just ignoring them. And he talks about the contract that was signed, and that because they drank that like fizzy cola or whatever it is, the soda that brings them up to the fan. Which there is a Family Guy episode where he goes to Duff Brewery. I think it's Peter and the son, and the way they get down from it is they have to fart instead of burping. So they, of course, because it's Family Guy. But
the only part of that I remember is when Joe gets eliminated, which I think he gets eliminated like the very first.
It's not wheelchair accessible.
He goes, oompa, oompa, oompity.
I didn't want to come to your factory anyways. Your chocolate sucks. As he's being dragged out.
my favorite part is, what do you do when you're stuck in a chair, unable to walk up and down stairs? I'm like, man, that's mean. Poor Joe, man.
Well, he does get his legs back and becomes a raging a-hole. So they break his legs again. He becomes a nice guy. So
yeah. So,
but so Wonka's yelling at them, giving them the whole contract thing. You broke it. You get nothing. Get out. Leave. Like you said, good day, sir. It's an amazing, angry speech that that Gene Wilder gives. It's great. So what happens after that?
So basically, Grandpa's like, you know what? Let's go sell this gobstopper to Slugsworth or whatever his name is. And Charlie's like, you know what? I'm gonna do the right thing. He takes the gobstopper out. He places it on the desk. He goes, and I think he says, "Thank you for letting us tour your factory" or something like that. And then leaves. And then Wonka looks at it like, oh my God, he's the one that's not going to do it. He's like, my dear boy, you won! You won! He's like, and then all of a sudden that Slugworth guy comes walking in. They're like, there's that Slugworth. He goes, no, that's not really Slugworth. I designed this to see who was going to, be faithful to me, who was going to actually, go behind my back and sell it, because I guess the kids aren't going to get no $10,000 like they say they think they're going to get.
Yeah, and he gets all the chocolate, but it's Grandpa is still greedy. Well, we still get the chocolate, right? Yes, and then they go into the great glass elevator that can go in all different directions, and they shoot up, and Wonka he says, I'm going to retire one day. I need for a child to do this because an adult doesn't get it, but a kid does. Yeah. And because it's like, well, can my family live here too? It's, if I was Wonka, I'd be like, well, come on, kid, you're pushing it. But it's like, yeah, your whole family can live here. You got to take care of the Oompa Loompas, and then just it sails the glass elevator, because they never made a sequel for some reason. Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator just kind of.
I didn't even know there was a sequel until I was looking at the book. I didn't know there was a sequel to this.
I have no idea what the sequel is. I know the title. I've seen the cover, but I have no idea what the book is, what it's about.
Yeah, I was looking through here because you know how at the beginning it always says like these are other books by Roald Dahl or whatever his name is, and I was like Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. There's a sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I kind of want to read that now and see what happens. Charlie turns evil and kills everybody. No.
Yeah. Well, like we say, he makes them he sacrifices people, and because he's a cannibal. So
there you go.
So this is what would you give this out of, like, let's say 1 to 5?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would give this a 4.5 because I did enjoy the movie. It's a classic for sure. I mean, it's definitely I wasn't bored. Yeah, I rolled my eyes at the singing, at the songs and everything, but that's mainly because I'm not the biggest fan of musicals. I mean, I like some musicals, but like I don't know when it's real kiddie stuff. I'm like, I don't know, like you know, like Sweeney Todd. I loved the songs to Sweeney Todd, and Johnny Depp is a great singer. A lot of people don't. I don't know why they didn't use that talent in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which we'll get to. Because you know Gene Wilder sang in this one. I thought maybe Jeff would sing in too, but evidently not.
No, he didn't.
I think it's a wasted opportunity.
So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 because I don't like that beginning. I just don't like it. I until they hit the factory. So I would probably do a 4.5 if we didn't spend so much time with the family. I mean, the film is called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but that was purely done to sell candy bars. I mean, the whole movie is basically just to sell a candy bar. But so I have to go with a 4 out of 5.
Okay. All right. Hey, 4 out of 5, still good. That's still a good score.
Yeah. Okay. And we should make these a little shorter. We're already at an hour. We've only talked about one movie, and we have 3 left. So even though I do have this big stack of movies here. So, okay. So now we are going to talk about mine, and that would be the original Night of the Living Dead versus the remake, the Tom Savini remake. And that is, there's the original. And so I'm going to remove this Willy Wonka here. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that, but I actually want to start off with, and because we're running late on stuff, I'll make some of this stuff quickly. So this originally begins with this novel, I Am Legend, and which, please excuse the Will Smith cover. I've owned many versions of this. This is unfortunately is the one that I picked up when the movie came out. So, which the Will Smith one has little to do with the book. So, this is I Am Legend is my favorite book that I've ever read. Without it, we would not have things like Salem's Lot. We would not have The Stand. We would not have Night of the Living Dead. Romero has even said this. It is an amazing book that it is a bucket list movie for me to make. I would love to adapt this book as the book, not, I don't want to do it from anything else. And it is just an amazing book that is very different from any of the movies that came out that are based on it. But because the book came out in 1954 and Night of the Living Dead is 1968. So it was adapted into things like The Last Man on Earth, 1964, The Omega Man, 1971, I Am Legend, 2007, and Night of the Living Dead, 1968. So without that book, we would not have this. And so I'm going to put this book over here. So I
do have a physical copy of this.
Nice. This is the Criterion, which I think the only way that this could look better is if it was a 4K. My problem with this, and I'll get to my stack that I have sitting here, it's too clean.
Yeah.
It's way too clean. This needs to look like, oh shit. I just almost knocked my headphones off. It needs to look more like a documentary. It needs to have the grain and the popping and maybe even like a film skip or something like that. This is, even though I love this, and this is what I watched for this video, I rewatched this one because I could swear this is longer and it's not. I Googled it. It says, no, it's not. It's the actual length of the movie of like the original film. Because It seemed like there was extra stuff in this, but it isn't. My favorite film of all time would be The Graduate from 1967. This would be my second. So this is my favorite horror movie. It's my favorite zombie movie, but they could switch. So depending on the day, like right now, this would be my all-time favorite movie. I think it's a great zombie film, a great horror movie. It's a great statement on the time period that it was made. It's Martin Luther King was shot right when this came out. Our lead actor is Black, which was very unusual. He hits a white woman in this. Not for that time period. But the thing with him, even though Dwayne Jones, even though he's our hero, he's totally wrong. They should have gone down to the cellar or basement. I'm not sure which one it technically is, but because there's even an attic too. And well, in the remake, there's an attic. I don't know if there's one in this. I think they just go into
No, I don't think they even talk about the attic in this one.
Yeah. So what they should have done is, for some reason, do a compromise. Everybody tends to think that the husband, the white guy in this, is a racist. I don't think he is a racist. I just think he's a control freak. And he does like slap his wife, and he's kind of proud of it. I think he's just a dick. But he is correct. And there's the girlfriend that's in this that causes a lot of problems. And, like the boyfriend does say to her, I'm blanking on what her name is. I'm going to go right into Judy. Thank you. So we'll look at the cast. Yeah. So we got Judy, and then there is her boyfriend why are they not in here? Why do I have to always check I could never find what I want. Why are they not in here? Why are they not listed in the cast? Tom, I think his name is. So Judy and Tom, Tom tells her, well, you don't want to leave this house, but you also didn't want to leave when we had a huge flood. So now she doesn't want to leave the house when zombies are around it. But yet, when Tom and Ben go to get the gas in the truck, she runs out of the house because she has to be with him for some reason. Yeah. She fucks everything up. If it wasn't for her, Tom probably would have lived and she would have been in the house.
Yeah.
Because of her, there's the explosion. It's all her. It's all her fault.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing to me. So but I do think I love the news reports. I love the filming of this. I love the black and white. They were going to shoot it in color, but they couldn't afford a color. So back then, black and white was cheaper. When I went to college, film school, black and white was more expensive because it was arty. It wasn't normally, back then, black and white films were considered to be cheap. Now they're expensive. But I absolutely love this. I am now certain that it's the Venus probe, because that's why I thought maybe this was longer. They talk about the Venus probe a lot. And I don't think I ever realized that, even though I've seen this film a bunch of times. I'm even on a horror documentary. I forget the name of it. And there were a whole bunch of questions asked. And one of them was like, what is your favorite horror film? And I said, Night of the Living Dead. I probably did like a 10-minute thing about Night of the Living Dead. And the whole thing is in this documentary. So the person who put it together liked what I had to say, and the whole question that I answered is there, all about this movie. And which I really appreciated, because there's only little clips here and there of me. But I really like that he left this in. I just think that this has a ton of special features on it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to open all these, just this one because it's nice. They did this backwards, I think. But it pulls out, and then it's got the 2 discs.
You want to go to the full screen so people can see it better?
Sure. So it does have a poster, but I think it's double-sided. Yeah. So it has the poster of the little girl that's in the basement.
Yeah.
And then this is where all the info, about like the disc and the movie and all that stuff is.
Yeah.
So this is really good. I bought it on one of the Criterion sales, probably through Amazon. But like I said, I'm going to have to make some of this fast. So I would like to keep this, if we can, like 2 hours or maybe 2.5. I do have, this is VHS, and it's Night of the Living Dead in color.
Okay.
And it says right here, Night of the Living Dead, they scream louder in color. And this is from Hal Roach, who was colorizing a lot of movies. King Kong, who ended up being purple. His fur was purple because it was horrible colorization. The zombies in this are all green. So I've kept this because you can't find this actual version of it. Maybe YouTube, I don't know. But so I've always kept this. Then I got this one. So I have a thing that I do, and I do it every once in a while, not all the time. Because I think Night of the Living Dead should be watched like a documentary, like somebody found it in some, crate 100 years from now, and it should look all crappy and everything. I've made it my mission to find the crappiest version of this movie, and I still haven't found it yet. So the classic is now in deadly color. So this is a different colorization, but it has black and white and color, but it has audio commentary by Mike Nelson from Mystery Science Theater 3000. I kind of find the colorization to be an insult. When MST 3K did the movie, they did This Island Earth, and and a lot of people felt that was an insult because a lot of people like This Island Earth as a good movie. I felt that this was an insult as a film to mock, because I don't think that this should be mocked. So then they also did this, which is god awful, the 30th anniversary limited edition Night of the Living Dead. It's numbered on the back. It's from Anchor Bay. It even has like a soundtrack to it, and there's like booklets and all that type of stuff in here. What they did was, for the 30th anniversary, and George Romero was against this, so I don't think he had anything to do with this, and that's when I say they are the original people, like John Russo, Russ Steiner, all of them, all of the original people. They went out and shot additional scenes to this and put it into the movie. And they shot, it's black and white, because there's a sequel to this version called Children of the Living Dead, which is by far one of the worst things I've ever seen. It's worse than this. So they did a new soundtrack, which I thought was not good. The original soundtrack is great. They bring in that this is more, I guess, supernatural into it, which I didn't like. This is horrible, but I only have it because it's Night of the Living Dead. And I think I've watched it twice, giving it a chance. Yeah, it's over 15 minutes of new scenes. So completely unnecessary. So when they in the movie, the original film, when you see some of the zombies walking around, they give you the reasons of why they're walking around. Like there's a bus, and some kids get off the bus, and they're all zombies or something. So it's very bad. Then this, and of course the film is public domain. So you can use it in movies. You can release your own copies of it. The problem is that Criterion Collection owns the rights to that. So at the very end of the Criterion version of the movie, it does have a copyright for that year when it came out. The film was originally called Night of the Flesh Eaters, and when they changed the title to Night of the Living Dead, they forgot to add on the copyright, you know, that little seed with the circle around it, onto the movie. Instantly made it public domain. So one of the reasons why a lot of these sequels and remakes and all that are being made is because nobody got money off of this. It's kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Nobody made money off the original movie because it was funded by the mafia. So Toby Hooper does part 2. The writer Kim Hinkle does part 4. You know, I don't know if this is true, but the DP for the first film, Daniel Pearl, went off to then do the remake. So it's nobody made money off of Texas. So they all made their own films. Same thing with this.
Okay.
And so Romero every once in a while gets pissed off at these guys because they're either doing sequels or remakes or spin-offs or whatever. And there is a with Richard Rubenstein, there is a lawsuit that was put in with Romero that Romero can do like Dawn of the Dead, but he can't do Of the Living Dead. Rubenstein can do Of the Living Dead, but Romero can't, and Rubenstein can't do just Of the Dead. So there's that thing going on. So this is another one of those ones that I was hoping would be crap, but then I noticed it's Echo Bridge. So I thought, well, no, probably not. But I do like the cover. I like that, and I like the back. This is another one of those that I bought, maybe hoping, okay, maybe this will be the crappiest one.
I do have a copy of that copy.
Okay. And then, then it's Good Times DVD. So I'm like, no, probably not. So I popped it in, and it still looks okay. See, I have the one that you have. That red one. It must be in my collection somewhere down. All my zombie movies are like right there. I have that. Yeah, I have that, but I don't have it in my stack. But that's okay.
Do you have the slip cover?
No, I don't have a slip cover on it. But what does the spine look like? Yeah, it has to be in there unless somebody took it without me knowing it. I might have just missed it. But I own that one too, because it is an anniversary edition. But then there's also Night of Living Dead, which is that one from over there that's in a collection. Also with I Am Omega, which is the Asylum's version of Night of Living Dead or I Am Legend. This is a great documentary that is done through Timpe. So it's called Reflections of the Living Dead, where it's one of those rare times that they got everybody back. Romero, basically, and anybody that was surviving pretty much is interviewed. And it's a really good documentary on the film. There is also, in this collection, there's Mimesis, Night of the Living Dead, which people, it's kind of like Cube or Saw or any of those movies where people wake up somewhere. So these people wake up in a house and they all look like the characters from Night of the Living Dead, and they have to battle zombies. So, and I think Mimesis means like duplicate, but it's very much kind of like Scream or Saw, those type of movies. So it's people wake up and they have to play this game. There is a remake which has its own prequel called Night of the Living Dead 3D. And this I
have that as well.
This is the 2D version. There is a prequel to this. So, but this is an actual remake. I remember living in Pasadena. There was one of those dollar houses, and I saw up on the marquee, it says Night of the Living Dead 3D, and I didn't know what it was. I should have gone to check it out because I thought it was just Night of the Living Dead, and they're just like showing it in 3D, and I'm like, oh, I don't really care. But if I knew it was this, I probably would have gone to check it out. It was a limited run there. And then there's Blu-ray Night of the Animated Dead. So it's Night of the Living Dead with different animators.
Okay.
So each, I guess, scene or different parts are done by different people, by different animators. So it's a different style throughout the whole thing. And it says they're based on the original film Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
Then
so what do they? Did they just take like the audio from the movie and just animate it over top of it?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. This one I hate. I may have to rewatch it. Maybe I'll like it better. It does have some of the people from the remake, but this is also animated. Night of the Living Dead: Darkest Dawn, but it takes place in the city, not like in like a farmhouse. It's got like Danielle Harris, Tony Todd, Bill Moseley. It's got a whole bunch of people. Joe Pilato, who was in Day of the Dead. It also has Tom Sizemore. It's got a bunch of people in it, but it's really short. And I didn't get into it. I just went, So, but I keep it. And then the last one that I have is Night of the Living Dead Resurrection.
Okay.
So all of these are remakes. I have a lot more down there and to show. And so I'll go up here and that's how many movies there are that are all connected. It starts in the middle with Night of the Living Dead, and then it can go into the different colors are into the different remakes, the different franchises, the different series. I mean, that is a lot of movies.
Okay.
Oh, shit, I forgot this one too. Way up there with like the red, that's Night of the Living Dead animated. That's Wild Eye releasing. I forgot that I own that one. That's out there. That's with my Wild Eye movies. So I own that. And yeah, I own pretty much almost all of these, if not all of them. Yeah. So it's one of those things where everybody is trying to do something with it. I'm in one of the remakes. I don't know if it's come out yet, but I play one of the guys on TV that's doing I play like an Alex Jones character that's doing a conspiracy theory. But I don't know if it's come out yet.
Okay.
So you get, so like there have been, and we'll look, I'll try to make these fast for this. So the first one that they tried with I Am Legend is Vincent Price, Last Man on Earth. This is like a vampire guy with a hand coming in. God, the book is great. Then from there, they then went to the 70s and they did Omega Man, which is this. Then from Omega Man, they then did the Will Smith movie, which is there. I like I Am Legend. I think it's a decent film if you just don't compare it to the book.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think look at it like a loose, like it's loosely like it's inspired by the I Am Legend book more than actual.
Yeah, it's more kind of taken from the Omega Man because it was supposed to be Ridley Scott and Schwarzenegger were going to do I Am Legend, and he was all about the guns and all that type of stuff, where the original book is not. And then of course, when the Will Smith one came out, they had to do I Am Omega because they have to, the last man alive must battle the planet of the dead. So of course, the Asylum had to do, their own version of it, to make some money.
Of course.
I thought I had one more poster for I Am Omega that I really liked. Oh, yeah, there it is. That one I like.
Okay.
So
I think I actually have that copy right there.
It's a good poster for it. And then with looking down here, there's like another picture that's another copy of the book. Yeah, if you, I mean, Richard Matheson even wrote a lot of the really good Twilight Zone episodes. Then we got that copy of the book there. And then
I do have a copy of I Am Legend. I don't know where it's at though. If I would have known you were going to talk about it, I would have brought it out.
Oh no, it's okay. It's kind of like a last second thing, and then I'm like, well, let me go grab some stuff from it because I think it's important to mention in the. I like this poster, how it's all green and stuff. Looks pretty cool. And then there's also this one, which looks like it's foreign. I don't know if that's Japanese or Chinese or whatever, but I like that the cemetery zombie is right there. And it's interesting as everybody talks about the Romero zombies being slow. They're not slow.
No.
In this, they're fast. One uses
a
rock.
I made the comment while I was watching it. Because my wife doesn't really watch horror movies that much, so she was sitting off there doing it, playing like on her phone or something. And I said, you know, everyone griped about the zombies being fast. I'm like, this dude is running right here. Like, so Romero's been doing it from the get-go. So
yeah.
And then eventually it turned into being slow. I guess they were slow. I guess they changed it at the very end there. I don't know.
Yeah, at the in Dawn of the Dead, they're slow. The sequel, they're slow. But in this one, yeah, you have the cemetery zombie. He's running after Barbara. He uses a brick to crash the window open. He's running alongside the car. And then, some of the zombies are running at, Ben at the house. So they're I guess just because Romero did slow after this, that's what everybody now thinks. And we got so that's the Romero zombies. So I think that this is just a great film that talks about it's the time that it was made is very important because because of the actions that go on in it would normally not be done at that time period. Romero said that he did not hire Dwayne Jones because he was Black. He hired him because he was the best actor. It just happened to be released around the time that Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. The irony of the ending of you could really look at it as kind of black versus white, with like Cooper and Ben fighting in the house all the time and trying to gain control of the whole situation. I'm boss up here, you're boss down there. The whole idea of the white posse at the end that the guy shoots Ben right in the forehead, which is famous. That he survived this entire thing, only then just to be killed in the morning and then throw onto a bonfire, and then just the still photographs that are given, and you see like the meat hooks in Ben, which could be looked at as the Klan or whatever you want to with it. That it's these white guys, kind of hicks dragging him onto this bonfire. So I think the film is absolutely fascinating. If it's intentional or not, I really don't know. This is another poster that I like. So I think if people have not seen this film, they should. I don't think that they should move on to, don't watch the other movies first. Watch this one first. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So I give this 5 out of 5. Absolutely 5 out of 5. This is.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. This one's one of the movies I will give a perfect score because it's it's definitely it's a classic from the get go. I mean, and it's I think the ending's perfect. I mean, and yes, I mean maybe at the time it was criticized for being like, hey, you just killed a black person, especially when Martin Luther King was just shot. But I think true horror, and I've heard someone say this before because it was actually a horror author said this. He goes, true horror is when nobody survives, or the final person that does survive is completely messed up for life. That is true horror.
The two examples that can be given where nobody survives is the tribute that Cabin Fever does at the very end, where the guy thinks he survived this virus, this like flesh-eating virus, and he leaves this like little shack. The opposite of Night of the Living Dead, where Ben is kind of being silent and he's got the rifle and he doesn't know what's out there and he's kind of looking around and then gets shot. In Cabin Fever, the guy opens the door and goes, I survived, I lived, and then gets shot right in the head and dies. Yeah. Total tribute. It's a flip. Black guy in Night of the Living Dead gets shot, white guy in this one gets shot. And then, of course, with the second thing that you mentioned with Misery is The Mist, which if he did not shoot all the people in the car, if he had waited 30 seconds,
the military would have showed up. Yeah. I mean, I hated that ending when I first seen it, but then after a while, it's like, yeah, but that's true horror right there. That's, and, I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
No, it is a brilliant ending. So this is why I think the book, there's 2 books for Return of the Living Dead written by John Russo. One is a direct sequel to this where it follows, I think it's the sheriff and he's still continuing to shoot the zombies. And then there's the, which I might have the kids on a school bus or something in it too. And then then he did adapt the movie for Return of the Living Dead where they're at the cemetery and everything. So but neither one of those were really made. Children might be close to Return of the Living Dead, like the original book. So, but yeah. So we're done with this. So love Night of the Living Dead, absolutely love it. Which means now, oh man. Oh man. Oh God, you have it like that? Okay.
I bought, and you know what the irony of is, I bought this for $10 at a Dollar General.
$10 at a Dollar General?
At a Dollar General.
That's $10 too much.
It probably is. I have this on DVD also, but I didn't know where it was, so I bought this years ago. And I mean, it comes with a booklet and everything.
I got it on, this is a 2-disc deluxe edition. I bought it because I collect the movies from Mr. Sunday Movies. And they reviewed this, so I figured I would pick it up. I didn't watch it until now. I did see it earlier. Like I said, I turned it off in 10 minutes. So I want to give a rating to this right now, so people know where we're going.
Man, okay, go for it, man. Go for it.
1 to 5, I give this 0. I hate this film.
I figured you would. I figured you would.
It's the worst Tim Burton movie ever made. Granted, I've not seen Dumbo and some of his other later movies. I hate this film. I hate it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And it's So what is your rating?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to give it a little bit of a higher rating because I do have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. But this last time I've seen it, I definitely got to give it a little bit of a lower rating, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3.
Oh, geez. Okay, I will go. I'll go 1, only because Christopher Lee is in it. That's it. Christopher Lee gets the 1, because anytime Christopher Lee's in a movie, it elevates it up a little bit. And I love that Tim Burton used him, a few years before his death. So, but I hate this.
You can definitely tell it's a Tim Burton film. I mean, even if you didn't know it was directed by Tim Burton, you can feel it's Tim Burton. I mean, Tim Burton just has that style that, you can just tell. It's like that certain style. You know what I mean? It's light, but it's dark. It's like it has like some light moments and it has some really dark moments.
No, this is not Willy Wonka.
No.
This is Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka is mean funny. This is just friggin' cruel, and I don't get the haircut.
And very awkward at times.
Yeah. It's not. I hate everything about this character. I can't. And he based it off of like many different people, which I don't think is possible. But he says he definitely did not model it after Michael Jackson, which I think is bullshit. I think this whole thing is Michael Jackson.
I mean, kind of. I mean, you see the gloves, you see
how white he is. Of course, he's inside all the time, so I guess that would make sense. I think this is just. I hate everything about this film. Hate it. I think the kid who plays Charlie was good. I thought he was good. I mean, the acting minus Depp is good. And I did like Charlie in this. But once again, grandparents, get a freaking job. Now we have the dad who got fired.
Yeah. So I will say sadly, this movie follows the book very closely, except for Johnny Depp. Almost everything in this movie, besides Wonka himself, is exactly how the book is written.
And because Depp had a hit with Captain Jack Sparrow for Pirates of the Caribbean, the company just went, go for it. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. And apparently Tim Burton did not listen to people, because one of the reasons why Batman Returns did not do that well is the penguin. Is that the penguin was gross. Kids didn't want to see a gross penguin. And so now here we have this guy who looks like a friggin' pedophile. And he's awful. Everything about him is awful. I'm not buying the factory at all. I don't believe it's that big. I wanted to watch Wonka, which I know is a prequel to Willy Wonka, not to this. But I still wanted to know how because I guess like in the flashbacks, which were completely unnecessary in this, except for
the whole daddy issue thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I kept saying I'm like no, this, and I'm so glad I read the book, because I when I read the book I was like, oh man, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the closest to it. And then when I started watching, I'm like, Johnny Depp does not do a good Willy Wonka at all.
No.
Why is there so many daddy issues? Like he was struggling to say like parents or You know, every time he's like, and these must be dude, get the
And then
word out.
somebody would go, parents? And they would go, yes. All of that stuff is completely unnecessary. I appreciate them doing something different. That's fine, because nobody's going to replace Gene Wilder. But and Gene Wilder, even before he died, he saw this movie and said, "Why? Why? Why is this movie made? Money." And Tim Burton was remaking frigging everything at the time.
Yeah,
it's.
Well, keep that picture up for a minute. Go ahead, talk.
To go back to the factory, I hated, like I said, everything about this factory. It is like I saw in the flashback, you see him as Willy Wonka as a kid, and he looks between the two buildings, and it's just vacant. It's just like empty land, which I'm guessing is where the factory would be built. So I kind of wanted to watch Wonka for that type of stuff, because in the trailer, I think it's the same thing. He sees the two buildings and it's just empty. And I don't need to know Wonka's background. He's messed up. He's a weird guy. He might be a narcissist. He could be a psychopath. He like Mr. Sunday Movies pointed out, which I thought was funny with the Johnny Depp version, is he very much could be a Nazi scientist. If you look at the time period, how he acts, he's doing experiments, he has labs. They're like made this case that this version of Wonka is secretly a Nazi scientist, and I could totally believe it, because
it does kind of seem that way.
Yeah, and what I don't also get is how so we have
hold on, before we move on, I want to read from the book real quick, the description of Willy Wonka, and I want you to tell me which one's more closer. Okay? So he says, and what an extraordinary little man he was. He had a black top hat on his head, so that goes to Depp. He wore a tailcoat made of beautiful plum-colored velvet. I'm going to have to give that to Gene Wilder. His trousers were bottle green. I don't think either of them kind of did that one.
I don't think I have.
His gloves were pearly gray.
Well, hold on. I mean, there's his pants. Tan, maybe olive green?
Maybe. So the gloves were pearly gray, so I mean, he did have gloves, but they're kind of like more purple than gray.
Yeah, I don't think this Willy Wonka had. Yeah,
I don't think so either. And in one hand, he carried a fine gold top walking cane.
I think he used it more as an act, but yeah, here with the cane. So
yeah, and then covering his chin was a small, neat, pointed black beard, a goatee, and none of them did that one, which is fine.
Yeah.
Maybe because Johnny Depp can't grow a beard. Oh, did I say that out loud?
But he has had a beard. It's not good looking, but he has had a beard. Yeah, because there's this one. I pulled this one comparing the two. So
when you look at, I'm gonna have to give Gene Wilder the Wonka more. Even if the dress code isn't actually 100% accurate, he's still more closer to them both. I mean, in the book, he's more like, energetic. He's like so happy to see everybody. He's like over the top excited. I don't think either one of them really did that. I mean, maybe Depp did a little bit more, but I still think Walter did a better job.
Yeah. I don't. I'm trying to find. Okay, there it is. I just think. I think just the studio just thought that Depp could do anything, and so we get this weird kind of Keith Richards pirate. Then, Depp plays a vampire for like, Dark Shadows, which I thought he was fine in. And even in something like Secret Window, which is the Stephen King story, he's more Johnny Depp looking, but he does some weird stuff. Like he barks, and he says that he got that from his kid, that his kid barks. And so it's like, okay, well, that's fine. But I think at a certain point, we all went, okay, I'm kind of done with this. It's just, and this is too far. This is way over what it should be. And way over what it should be is, so there's our Willy Wonka with the Oompa Loompas. They're all different sizes. They're little people, they're dwarfs. And they all look different. And and Wonka says that he brought them, it's kind of the same thing in both movies, that he took them and gave them safety and everything here. I saw it as slave labor, that he was able to, find these.
Actually, in the book, the original depiction of them were actually they were kind of almost talked like they were African Americans. Like
okay.
They were. But here's the thing. I guess later on, the author himself actually went back and said, "Okay, let me change some of these." So he has changed. He revised it like 3 different times, and he changed it to like make it a little more appropriate, I guess.
Okay. Because I have nothing against Deep Roy. Deep Roy got $1 million for the sequel. I'm sorry, for the remake, because he is every freaking Oompa Loompa. No. I mean, and he had to stand in each one of these places and do a different movement for each Oompa Loompa. So I give him credit for that. I got nothing against the actor. I just don't need to see 1,000 Deep Roys. I don't need that. I don't need to see this at all. And this to me, once again, was way too much. The songs that were in Willy Wonka are great. Even if we don't say the lyrics perfectly, we all know the oompa, oompa. We may get it, wrong, because there are a few different versions of it, but we know it. You hear it and you go, oh, Willy Wonka. Even the whole thing, Willy Wonka's song, that one, his first song, we know it. These songs in here that the Deep Roy Oompa Loompas sing, Danny Elfman took the songs from the book and or took whatever the poems or whatever it is. Yeah. He made them into songs to match each kid. They're awful. They are horrible. I love Danny Elfman. I love Oingo Boingo. I own everything from Oingo Boingo. I saw Oingo Boingo from 84 to 94. I even saw live on stage the Danny Elfman celebrates the films of Tim Burton and where they did the themes from all the movies. I love Danny Elfman. I own every soundtrack, multiple versions. I hate this. And he sings all the songs that the Oompa Loompas do. You can even hear it. There's maybe 2 songs that I thought were okay, but I would never put them onto like a playlist if I was going to do Danny Elfman soundtracks. I think they are horrible, absolutely horrible. So what did you think?
I actually like the songs. I mean, I think they're a little more. I think and again, I mean, I'm not I wouldn't go as far, and I wouldn't go as far as saying like they're the greatest things ever. I mean, if you really want to compare, if we're going to compare the two, I definitely have to give the music parts to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I think they did a little bit better. Like they actually gave everybody like even if it wasn't like they gave every character a song, even if it wasn't just you know, like some of the Oompa Loompas were singing it. Sometimes it was Charlie's mom singing it. Then it was Willy Wonka sang for a minute there. Which again, Johnny Depp is a good singer. I don't understand why they didn't give him something to do. I think maybe this was before he came out and started saying that he could sing and all that. Maybe because I think maybe a couple years later he did Sweeney Todd.
I thought Sweeney Todd was first. Let's look here.
It could be. I'm not sure, but I think he did this before Sweeney Todd.
So, okay, filmography. I mean, I could be wrong. Let's see. No. Sweeney Todd is later.
Okay.
So Charlie is first, and then Sweeney Todd is like 2 years later.
Okay. Yeah, 2007. Okay, so maybe he didn't know he was a good singer at that point. I don't know. Then after that, he started doing more singing roles and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I just thought this was awful. I just did not, like I said, I have nothing against Deep Roy at all. I don't even know a lot of his movies. But there was a reason why I turned this off when I first saw it. And I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this. It's people just sitting in bed, get a job, get a life, Oh no, we only have cabbage to eat. Well, yeah, if you went out and got a damn job, that would be fine. I mean, shit. But they just don't want to work. Friggin' Gen Z, people.
We're waiting for Social Security.
No. And this, I was looking up stuff. What an insult. 2-film collection, the original with the remake? Oh my God. Ugh. Just buy the original. That's awful.
Or it could be like me and buy the special edition from Dollar General.
Oh God. See, every time you bring it up, I cough. It makes me cough. It's so horrible.
Hey, John.
So, yes, sir. Stop. So, yeah, you gave this a 3?
I gave it a 3.
Yeah, and I gave
it
a
1.
So, I know both of us have not seen Wonka.
No, I did buy it digitally. So I do own it, but I have not gotten the chance to watch it yet.
Do you like the idea of a prequel? Since we already had it in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, we had all those flashbacks. Did we really need a prequel to, I guess, the original film, the one with Gene Wilder?
I mean, I might as well drop this. The whole daddy issue and thing was never mentioned in the book, so that was all just kind of Tim Burton adding his own, or whoever wrote the screenplay added their own little backstory. So yeah, technically there was all that was kind of just added in. But none of it was mentioned in the book that he had daddy issues or anything like that.
Yeah,
or he had big giant braces or anything.
Oh God, it's so stupid. And it's John August wrote the script for Charlie and the Factory, and he's worked with Tim Burton many times. The thing that kills me is this film was not a flop. The original one, which we didn't talk about, its budget. So it came out in 1971. Its budget was $3 million. It only made $4 million. So I don't know if back then It got good reviews. It only earned $4 million by the time of its original release, but it was nominated for like Best Original Score. Gene Wilder for Best Performance in a Motion Picture, Comedy, or Musical. So it was nominated or won a whole bunch of awards. It's in the National Film Registry. So I guess it just did, it just became that that classic, kind of like It's a Wonderful Life.
Well, maybe back then, you didn't need to make like 20 million to be successful. Back then, it wasn't a whole lot of, you didn't need to spend a whole lot of money for marketing and stuff like that. So them making 4 million was probably, maybe broke even, but $1 million back then is not $1 million like it is today.
No. But Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which came out in 2005, its budget was $150 million. The film is mostly CGI. It's all green screen, CGI. When they do the boat scene in this, it didn't scare me at all. It wasn't creepy. It wasn't weird. It was nothing. It was just a boat on CGI. That's like CGI water. That's all it was. But the film made $475.8 million. It didn't lose money. It made money.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess people liked it enough, or kids liked it enough, but I don't understand it. And I also grabbed, so like to show them together. So do you think that's a good like representation of what Willy Wonka would look like younger?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's going into the story that well, I mean, I'm just speculating what Wonka could be. Maybe, as how they were saying the story of how he started his factory and all the workers were there and people were trying to steal all his stuff and all that, and that's when he shut the factory down. Maybe that's what this is going into. Maybe. So if this is it's supposed to be a younger Willy Wonka when he first started, maybe this is like his style change. You know what I mean? It's definitely, you can definitely tell that he's paying tribute to more of the Gene Wilder than Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah. Well, in Wonka, its budget was $125 million, but it made $634.5 million.
Wow.
It's the highest grossing one of them all.
Wow. There you go.
I don't know. Maybe I will watch it at some point. So
I'm definitely going to watch it at some point. I just haven't had the chance.
Yeah, and I just think that is such a better representation of the Gene Wilder one. I mean, it's so I think they probably went right. I thought Wonka bombed. It did not. Yeah, there's all three of them. So according to, only 3 actors have played Wonka in movies, but there's been a total of 18 people to play Wonka. So they're also talking about plays, musicals, things like that. But these are the only 3 to actually play Wonka. Which one doesn't belong there? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things. I'm
going to have to pick the middle.
Yep. The middle one for $1,000. Yeah, that's
Johnny Depp. Get out of here.
God. So
you failed, sir. Good day, sir.
Good day to you, sir. Yeah, it's such a mystery to me of all of this. And then this is the last one I have from Wonka is there. So I think it looks pretty good with the hair. The hair is kind of poking out from the sides. Yeah. Like Wilder's hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, his hair's a little more brown, but you know, that's fine. That's fine. You know,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay, okay. Hold on a minute. So here we go. His hair is brown. Hey, this is going to be the story. When he was out in the jungle, the hot sun bleached his hair, and that's why he's more blonde in Willy Wonka.
There you go. Okay, that works. That works for me. Okay.
That's the story. I'm sticking to it.
As you should. Okay. All right. So, anything else about the two Wonka movies?
No, we're pretty much. If you haven't seen both of them, I mean, we pretty much just spoiled the whole thing. But like I said at the beginning, you were warned. Um, if I'm gonna say which one, unfortunately, the one that's closest to the book is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But if I have to pick which one I'd rather watch again, it would definitely be Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't hate Charlie and the Chocolate Factory like John does, but because I have a lot more nostalgia for it. Again, John.
It's very weird, man. It's weird. It's just weird. All right. So my last one and is the remake, 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead. So this,
No.
Oh,
No.
how dare you?
No.
It is directed by Tom Savini. It does have some of the original people on it. George Romero, John Russo, like Russ Steiner. So we got some of the original people in it. It's 21st Century Film Corporation, which is there was Canon Films, and then they separated the two brothers, and one of the brothers went off to go do 21st Century, and it's also Columbia. So, and it's only 88 minutes, which is nice.
Yeah.
But and it's widescreen, but it is rated R. So this is the edited version. I do own the like I said, the work print version of it, which is much more violent, and I guess that's what they're going to be releasing soon. I
definitely want to see the uncut version. I want to see what they took out.
It says it's supposed to be the 23rd, and I can't find this thing anywhere to purchase. So I saw that some people did pre-order it, but I don't know. I can't find it anywhere. So for me, not the original Night of the Living Dead is better, but this is still a great remake. Yeah. Is it a necessary remake? No. Not at all. No, it is not. Because it is.
I do have a question, because I heard this from someone. Did the only reason this happened because the original Night of the Living Dead? This is what I've heard. I'm not 100% sure if this is true, but the reason they were saying that this was made was because the original Night of the Living Dead was going to go into the public domain, and they were trying to prevent that. How true is that?
I don't know. I don't think that is correct. It's. I've
watched some videos on it before, like we talked about this, and that was one of the things that brought up, and I'm like, I don't think that's the case, because the Night of the Living Dead was like in the public domain for years, and it was because they forgot to put the copyright on.
Yeah, I believe it was just because then, Romero was listed as one of the producers. I think from what Tom Savini has said is that he wanted to do the effects on Night of the Living Dead, like they had met previously, Romero and him, but he had to go to Vietnam. So that's why he's on Dawn of the Dead, but he's not on Night of the Living Dead. And then Savini has already directed stuff beforehand. So he was a great choice for this. The atmosphere on this is great. The acting is great. The actors
this is awesome. This is his only feature film, though.
Feature, yeah.
Because he's did stuff for Creepshow and stuff, but this is his only feature film as far as I know.
Yes, yeah, I believe that's correct. And it's the second the moon pops up at the beginning with the title, the film is just it's just a great remake. And it's one of those films where I believe it was made so they could get money because they didn't get money off the original. So this was just one of the ways of doing it. I don't know how much money. I mean, Romero is listed as a producer, but I don't know how much the other guys would have received. But it's a. I think. I mean, I had absolutely, no problem with watching this again. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times now, and I just think it's nice that they ruined the freaking ending of the movie with Tony Todd right there. So it's like, wow, thanks, poster. Stupid.
Way to go, poster.
Man. And I think this is one too. That's for the. I think that is the. Oh no, that might be the original. No wait, John Russo, George Romero, Joe Sana. Oh yeah, this is for the original, but I didn't show it. I thought maybe this was the remake poster, but that's a really good one. It's like an Italian poster. Yeah. And so she is great in this. Yeah. Patricia Tallman, she's a stunt woman, so it would make sense for her. She was also in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She's the fake Ferris Bueller that the principal grabs by the shoulder and turns around, and because she's wearing the same jacket and haircut, and then she spits like the shake in his face. That's her. She's been in other stuff. She was on episodes of Star Trek, different, Next Generation and stuff like that. Yeah. So she's very well known, for doing these type of things. I thought that she was a great addition to this. Of like the original, Barbara is kind of scared and meek, and she's constantly in almost like a coma through the whole movie.
Pretty much,
yeah. And in this, she's not. We go from that person.
She kind of starts out like that, but then quickly snaps out of it.
Yeah, and if this was that, and this poster actually says Part 2, Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead Part 2, so which is funny. But I like that, because if this was made today, this would be looked at as being woke. And I think it would be. I think that she would be a Mary Sue from the second the movie started all the way to the end. She would not have any sort of arc. This would all be about the patriarchy. This would all be about men being toxic, which she does bring up, because they, like Ben and I think it's Harry Cooper, that they keep fighting all the time. And so she does bring that up. But I think for 1990, we didn't think of any of that. It was just, oh, look, they're changing her character. They're adding a whole new ending onto this. Yeah. And it kind of leads into Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead. So we have, Ben dies in this because he gets shot a couple times. It dies and comes up as a zombie out of the basement. And then Harry comes down. That's where we have the attic. So they would have been safe in both places. And he comes down. He's like, oh, thank God. And then she just shoots him in the friggin' head. And the two guys that are with her are like, what the hell?
Do you blame her?
No. I would have done.
I mean, he was a real jerk. So here's a question. Now you just brought up Ben turning into a zombie. How did that actually happen? Because I didn't see him get bit or anything.
He was shot and he died.
No. How did he turn into a zombie?
Yeah, he was shot and he died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so it's the blood loss then.
Yeah, it's like they mentioned, it's the recent dead that have come back. So it could be, just somebody on an operating table who died.
I must have missed. I knew he got shot, but I didn't know he got shot in like a fatal area. You know what I mean? I thought maybe he just got shot in the arm or something. He must have got shot like somewhere where, like, he was gonna bleed out or something.
Yeah, he gets shot twice, and he goes down and he boards everything up, and then I think he just dies in the chair, and then he comes back. Henry, out of all the people, lives excuse me, until she shoots him in the head,
Yeah.
you know, which is much needed. I could swear, I don't know what movie it was. I thought it was this, where his character, the Henry character, goes, if I turn into one of those things, shoot me. And then the Barbara character goes, oh, don't worry, I will. Which is why she shoots him at the end. I just remember different things happening in this film. So I must be thinking of a totally different movie, but they're similar. I don't remember, unless I'm having that Mandela effect where I don't know.
Maybe.
So,
Awesome.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, and of course this, you know, does fall into, you know, like, where is this? So if you look in the middle there, there's Night of the Living Dead. It's got the green line, and then it just goes into the remake. But the remake does not go into the remake of Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead above it. It's its own thing, but technically you could watch it and then go into Dawn of the Dead.
Original, yeah.
Because it even has up here stuff like the Grim Reaper way up in the corner there. I don't know if I would consider that to be part of the series or anything like that, because the guy's not a zombie in that. But it does also look at the zombie films, because in America it's called Dawn of the Dead, but in Italy, Dario Argento did his own cut, and
yeah,
just called
he has he calls Zombie Dawn of the Dead, and then was Zombie. Then he did Zombie 2, which was the sequel to his version of Dawn of the Dead.
More different director and all that, but a lot of people look at it as a sequel. In America, it's Zombie, and over there in Italy, it's Zombie 2, because the ending, even though Zombie is voodoo, and you know, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead are not. You could say it's radiation from the Venus probe. The zombies are walking over the bridge, like going into Manhattan, I think it is, at the end of Zombie. And you could then go into Dawn of the Dead. And I think that might have been intentional. So, but it's interesting if you ever wanted to do like a giant marathon. I mean, here's everything here. And it is, like I said, it is.
I'm gonna have to ask you to send that to me after this, so I got to do a closer look at that.
Sure. And then so then here's a picture of the original and then the remake with them. So there's the two actors who play, you know, Henry. I still don't think he's a racist. I think he's just an asshole. There in the color one, there's Judy who ruins everything, because, you know, why not? And you know, it's just, she's freaking useless. Absolutely. Well, I guess.
Well, actually, in the remake, it's the boyfriend that screws it all up this time, because he shoots the lock and ends up blowing up the truck.
Yeah, which is in the original, Ben does shoot the lock off, but he doesn't blow everybody up. But the boyfriend then sprays the gasoline everywhere, and of course it hits the torch. So, but she's still useless, you know, regardless of things. And then I showed a picture of the zombies from the original. These are the zombies from the remake. So, and as Barbara points out, they're slow. She's like, we could just walk right past them. So there's three things. Well, actually, so basement, house, attic, or you just leave and go walk right past them, which she does. So in a way, she's right. You know, Henry is still correct. The basement would have been the best place to go, especially now that in the remake, they have the 3 boards that are blocking the door. In the original, it's just the 1. So they would have been really protected. So I don't know why they just couldn't come to an agreement, unless it's just 2 dicks, just 2 guys, just fucking wanting control. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, and then the difference between, you know, Barbara and Johnny, you know, the original and the remake. And I found Patricia Tallman to be, I think I'm saying her name right. Yeah, Tallman. To be really hot in this. Not in this getup, but when she gets all NRA'd out, she's got like the police belt around her with all the guns and the bullets.
Yeah.
And she's got the pants on and the boots. Then it was like, wow, you're like this hot NRA chick. I dig you. She does go a little crazy, you know, when she's around like the some of the guys there who I think she's nuts, but also at the same time don't take her 100% seriously. Kind of having to prove herself, maybe. But and then there's I think this is the last one, and then there's just like a poster for the original and then the remake. Yeah. So it's, and I think that's pretty much it as far as the pictures go that I have. Yeah, that might be, I think that's it. Yeah. So I'll go back to this poster here. So like you read the book for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I used to own the book for Night of the Living Dead. And at some point I sold it, probably at the same time that I did my I Am Legend. So I tried to find an audio book on YouTube. Couldn't find it for the book. And there is an audio book for Return of the Living Dead. But they had a like a radio play that was 55 minutes. Okay. I turned it off in the first 10 minutes, maybe less. Oh, wow. The guy who plays Johnny is so annoying. I mean, he's supposed to kind of be the dick brother that goofs on his sister and irritates her and stuff. I mean, they even point that out in the film. This guy is just obnoxious. And I'm like, I know that this is just the beginning and it's probably better. But no, I'm not going to sit through this. I'm not going to. This guy is just too freaking annoying. I don't know why they wrote him that way. But I'm like, no, I can't. So, because the book is just an adaptation of the screenplay. Yeah. And so the book didn't come first. The script came first and then the book. But it's so, and there are differences from the book and the movie. Like they do the posse that's out there, the sheriff and all the guys with the guns. I think they play more in the book, if I remember correctly. Makes sense. But yeah, I couldn't find it, and I wasn't going to listen to the play. It was just too annoying for me. So, so the remake, if I'm going to go 1 through 5, I do give it a 4 out of 5.
I think the same is appropriate. Give it a 4. I gave the original 5 out of 5 like you did. I think 4 is a fair.
Okay. Yeah, it's not. I might even go higher once I see that uncut version. It might even be better. I wanted to do 2 films. I either wanted to do Night of the Living Dead, Las Vegas, and it would take place at the same time as the original Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, but it would still be modern. It wouldn't be like 1968. It would still be 2025, but it would take place at the same time. Or Night of the Living Dead, the beginning, where you see what Ben was talking about, like when he's at the diner and there was the truckload of zombies and you know, and you could kind of combine both the original and the remake. And then you're with the Coopers and their car gets turned over. Even though they tell us all this in the movie, I still wouldn't mind making it. I wouldn't mind. Yeah. So you could go right into the original or the remake. It wouldn't matter because of where they start. So you wouldn't follow Barbara or her brother or Johnny at all because that's just them driving on a road. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what you could do with that. But yeah, that's my original verse remake. I loved both, and I only liked one of yours.
There you go.
There you go. All right. So, and I do want to mention, actually, no, a couple of things here. So with Night of the Living Dead, this is sad, the remake. So its budget was $4.2 million. It only made $5.8 million.
Oh.
It bombed.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. But just to kind of show people, and I like using this now that I can. Okay, am I seeing it here? Okay, there it is. So, Night of Living Dead film series. So I showed that graph, and I'm going to make this fast because I don't want us to go over 2 hours and 30 minutes. So there are other things. There's like comic books. There is Land of the Dead and Survival of the Dead and Diary of the Dead, and I don't really like counting those. Land of the Dead is okay, and Diary is fine. It's an okay experiment. Survival of the Dead is garbage. So you got, Night of Living Dead.
Only get those if you're a completist, like we are.
Yeah, exactly. I still really think there's only the Holy Trilogy, which is just the first 3, which are these. Yeah. But it does go into Land, which was supposed to be Twilight of the Dead. No, actually, no. Day of the Dead was meant to be a massive Gone with the Wind movie. It was meant to be huge, but he couldn't get the budget. Survival is awful. Road, I guess, yeah, that was canceled. Twilight, somebody else is making it. So I don't really care about that. And then there's all these spin-offs, comic books and all this. We got the cast. But I'm thinking this. No, this isn't showing what I wanted. God damn it. I thought that I found it. Wait, Living Dead, maybe? Is that it? There was one here and I accidentally deleted it and I thought it was this. Okay, I think this is it. So this shows the original movies. So that's all. And Twilight is to be announced at some point, I guess. Then you have, the remakes. You got the Dan O'Bannon stuff, like all the Return of the Living Dead movies. Then there's that remake coming out. They talk about the infection, the virus, like zombie memories. Them talking. Then there's unauthorized sequels. So there's our Zombie 2 or Zombie. Children of Living Dead is garbage. Day of the Dead 2, Contagion is also garbage. They just bought the name to the movie and did a prequel to Day of the Dead. Night of Living Dead 3D, it's kind of fun. Mimesis, this is kind of fun too until it turns into Scream, which is the ending, which I went, oh God, really guys? You couldn't think of anything else? Night of the Living Dead Resurrection, that's British. It's not too horrible. Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation, it's not bad. But it's not as good as the 3D one because that's its prequel. Then you have A Night of the Living Dead, which I could only find a trailer for, but it doesn't look that great. Darkest Dawn is that animated one I didn't like. This Day of the Dead Bloodline is better than the Day of the Dead remake or Day of the Dead 2. Rebirth, this I've seen this a couple times. I did interview the director for one filmmaker. I've interviewed him a couple times. I actually think this is pretty good. He got a lot of flack because the film, as you can see, it originally says Night of the Living Dead Rebirth. I believe he was threatened to be sued. And so they said, you can't use Night of the Living Dead. So to avoid that, he just changed it to Rebirth. When I did my little scene for that Night of the Living Dead remake, I contacted the director and said, hey, you may want to talk to the director of Rebirth because you may not want to call your film Night of the Living Dead. You may want to call it something else. And so he did. So that's now changed. Then, of course, you have Night of the Animated Dead. Then you got some parodies here, which I don't need to go all over. Homages, Shaun of the Dead.
So here's my question: if someone was to make like a zombie movie and they wanted to call it something like Night of the Living Dead, they're not allowed to say of the Living Dead. Like they couldn't say like Dusk of the Living Dead or something like that.
I believe it's the Night of the It's Night of Living Dead, I think is the issue because of Criterion.
Okay. So it's just Night of the Living Dead, not...
Yeah.
So if you would change it to Dusk of the Living Dead or something, they wouldn't say anything to you.
I don't think so. Okay. Like I think he might have been able to call it like Rebirth of the Living Dead or Rebirth of the Dead. But he flips stuff around. So the director writer of this is gay, and he plays the barber role. So, but it's a man, not named Barbara, but he plays this as he's gay, so he plays it as a gay man in that role. So there really is no Barbara. But it's interesting enough to, I think that I would probably own it. I don't own it yet. I'm not sure if it's available yet. But yeah, I think anything, because before we did the video, I did do some research with the copyright of this. Anything that is, I think, Criterion, you cannot do. So that's all copyright. But if I wanted to do, if I wanted to show like this in the background of my movie, like I'm having a party and I just want Night of the Living Dead playing, I think I could get away with this. Yeah. Because it's not Criterion. So according to, if you look up movies on Wikipedia that are in public domain, Night of the Living Dead is still listed as public domain. The problem is the Criterion one. And so if you were to make Night of the Living Dead Florida or something, you might get an email or a letter or a call from somebody saying, hey, you can't use that title. You have to call it something else. And they might threaten to sue. So you have to take that chance. So it might just be better to, you know, to do it as something, you know, call it something else. But, you know, it's it's kind of like any, like fan films. You could call something Star Wars Darth Vader's Revenge a fan film. And they're like, oh, okay. But if you just call it Star Wars Darth Vader's Revenge, now there's a problem.
Gotcha.
So you might be able to do the same thing with Night of the Living Dead. You could probably do Night of the Living Dead, New Jersey, a fan film. And maybe you could get away with it that way. So, but that's I didn't want to forget that because I did have that up here and wanted to show it to people. So, but that's it. I'm done. Do you have anything else?
That's everything, man. We pretty much tackled everything we were supposed to tackle.
Okay, good. And this is, wouldn't say it's one of our shorter ones, but we have gone 3 hours on some of these. So. And I wouldn't mind. We
have to get the gap, John. We have to get the gap.
Well, we do, and we like talking about this stuff, which is why I wouldn't mind doing it again sometime down the road. I mean, there's always original and remake. I mean, you could do Psycho.
We could always do it. We could always do it a couple of months down the road or something.
Yeah, and they're easy. So just requires watching a couple movies, really, and that's about it. So, but all right, man. So if nothing else, we'll call it a day and thank everybody for watching this if they've made it this far. So I appreciate it. So, all right, man. Well, thank you, Donald. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And next month will be, and I guess I could just say, well, because it's October, will be Nosferatu. So we'll be, so original, remake, and then remake. So we'll be looking at those.
All three movies.
All three movies. So I don't know. And my cat just puked on the ground.
Oh boy.
I will be leaving. At least it's not on my carpet, but she decided to puke right below me. All right. So on that note, this is the second.
Time to leave now.
Yeah, this is the second puking of the day. Okay. All right. It was great until now. But all right, everybody. See you later. Appreciate you being here.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Donald. And we'll talk to everybody soon. So.